Hello Internet. This is Dan. Welcome to another episode on the channel of Bravest Gaming. You're probably wondering, no, this isn't Doom. Well, you're probably also saying, why isn't Booch said anything yet? Well, it's probably because he isn't here at the moment. This is just me. And today I figured I'll bring you something else. Let me tell you a little bit of story. The day is January 1st of 2013. I had just woken up and wondering what to do for the day, so I turned on YouTube and I turned on to see that Total Biscuit had a video on his channel. What the video was called, it says WTF is Thomas was alone. And at first I thought, okay, I'm intrigued. It's like Total Biscuit has done a lot of good things for indie games, so why didn't I check it out? About 5 minutes after that video ended, I bought this game. Now let me tell you why. This game was developed and published by one man, Mike Bithell. It was released on July 24, 2012. And for all things of it, there have been many indie games that I played, Super Meat Boy, Braid, and the like. This game is also in that so-called pantheon. As for why, well, I'll let you see in a little bit. Just notice the music and the minimalism in this game. Also, for another fact, as for why I'm doing this by myself, it's because, well, it's like this game has a lot of narration to it.
Thomas was alone. Wow. A weird first thought to have.
Indeed. As you might notice, that is the voice of Danny Wallace. He's the narrator for this whole game, and if you probably recognize him, it's probably from his role in Assassin's Creed, playing the character Sean Hastings. Well, and as you probably can guess from the narration, this is Thomas. Say hi, Thomas. Oop, he's gone. Wait.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity. 1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
Therefore, you see, there is being characterization of this red rectangle. Interesting.
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think! What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump. It worked! Thomas had solved the great inverted fall mystery.
And you see, the narration kind of gives you a sort of Bastion-like feel, somewhat, a little bit, as to what you can do with this character.
A big jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently. This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment.
And then as we
He was
cross...
starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important.
It's a weird thing to think about when you play other games, such as going back to the original Mario. What are you supposed to do? You move to the right to end the level.
It might have been paranoia again, But Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No. Too obvious.
As we start to get deeper, you start to actually think, it's like, hey, this block has some thoughts. Does that mean anything this far in?
Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it.
As you can see, we're
He made
introduced...
another mental note. 4. Water. Not good. To be avoided.
As you can see, we're first our sort of death mechanic in the game.
The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
Oh no! Ugh. As you can see, this game is your simple kind of platformer. If you take a look online at anything about this game, usually you'll come up with a couple things, one of them being that it's simplistic, or it's too easy. I kind of find, in a way, it's kind of right. But in another way, it's sort of like, it's different.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with.
Yeah. As you see, it's like the level just progressing. And you could say you are sort of evolving. Not just the character itself, but you. It's like you're getting used to how things work, the levels, the movements. As you see, after each section of certain levels, you come to this point where you hear about these things, AIs. Does it mean that Thomas, a new block, and this new block
took
are
an
AIs?
immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
Well, obviously, this is Chris. It's weird. He seems different than Thomas. Seems to have more of a curmudgeon-y attitude to him, doesn't he?
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well,
That's said after I die.
Not technically graceful, it's probably the wrong word, but, you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
Oop, hold on. Got it. Darn it. At times, it does seem like the controls can be a bit sticky, but, Oh. The world around me is slowly changing. Getting me to where I need to be. Oh, hey Chris. Need help? As you see, now things happen that the two have to interact to solve the puzzles you're given. one's done, let's move on to the other.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him?
Now we're introduced to switches, something somewhat known in the video game universe. And you see, Chris can't get up these stairs, so what are we to do? Obviously, hold on, did I miss it? Something like this.
Great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
As you can see, even as you're doing these sort of mundane tasks that you would do as any game character in any game, you see that maybe these characters do have their thoughts while it's happening, even if they are blocks.
Was this good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
Oops. Now see, there are two sets of jumps, each made for each character right here. And Chris, both handle it, but you have to take into account their jumps and how different they are as characters. How? Come on, Chris. You can do it, Chris. I believe in you. Darn it. I'm going to hit somebody. No, Thomas. You're getting your chance. Really test simple jump, but sometimes people fail. Come on. Okay, ready, and go. Don't overshoot it. Okay, ready, back up just a bit, and go. In a minute. Alright, Chris, we can do this. Okay, ready, and go. Ready, and go. Oh, back up there, Chris. Okay. And jump. No. Darn it. Okay, we can do this, Chris. You won't fail me. We can do it this time, Chris. Teamwork is on our side. And go. Okay.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
As you can see, even as they were together, their feelings for each other, quote-unquote, have them kind of at odds. Oh, Thomas, you're kind of in the way. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, darn it. Even as you hear just doing this simple platforming, the narration in the back of your head kind of makes you feel like, It gives you a different feeling to what usually goes on when you're just mindlessly playing a game. And it's doing it without giving you such, I say, detailed characters and sense of imagery, not characterization. And we made it! Okay. Thomas, get over here. I believe I can get up here. Oh, and I'm dead. It's okay. All good. Okay. Now Chris takes the bottom route. Okay. Jump. Just a nice simple route for Chris as we get here. Now back to Thomas. And I can't even make that simple jump. Darn. See, with Chris the hops are a little bit more simpler, but with Thomas there's a little bit of a floaty notion to it. Let's hope. Okay, good. Stick it. Can I get it? Yes. Can I get it? Can I get it? Yes. Okay.
John knew. He knew that this was his chance, a moment to shine. This was game day.
Well, now we have somebody new in the group. I think we'll save what John does for next time.